mid-conversation in the hotel room, for no reason, Sonic just farts really loud. We're talking film and talking crap and filming this and fucking that. So grab a seat and grab a snack with your best friends Trey, Sterling, and Matt, the Film Fox. So
Sonic
anyway,
the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I hadn't ever watched it before. It came out. It was one of the last movies to go into theaters before COVID hit, if I remember correctly.
Wait. Real quick. I thought we were watching Sonic the Hedgehog, like the original 1984.
There is
Shit.
no 1984.
I was like, that character could be I was thinking of an actor that could play the villain the whole time. Man, sorry. I'm out of it.
Who did you think of? Who do you think could play?
Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey. Could play that character perfectly. You ruined my joke. Anyway, let's move on. I did have the joke lined up. I should have went first because I was going to say, yeah, I love this. I went to the theater when I was a kid.
Yeah, well,
I'm sorry, I messed it up.
You were so straight-faced about it. I didn't even know you were doing a joke.
Yeah.
I still got it. I still got the chops.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, yes, pre-COVID, I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize to the crowd.
Anyway,
I apologize to the audience.
You could have been in this movie with your acting. You know, it's just as good.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about, boys and girls. Now buckle up.
We have plenty to talk about. Does anyone want to? Do you guys want to start it off? Like your overall thoughts?
Get the negative shit out of the way first, Sterling. Go.
No, I'm kind of being hyperbolic, but
okay.
So I watched this in theaters when it came out a few months ago, and honestly, just like with any adult, this movie, you kind of go into it with low expectations. It's not really made for adults. It's made for kids, which is nothing wrong with that, actually. But for what it tries to do, I kind of feel like overall it succeeds. And it's a pretty enjoyable film, to be honest. Like I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear because I watched it. It's a family kind of movie for kids, and I watched it with a 6-year-old, and I was trying to figure out if watching it with a kid had tainted it for me. I guess that's a negative word, but I mean, like, I was wondering, am I seeing it through rose-colored glasses because he was so into it that then I'm like, when you're kind of viewing it literally next to the audience it's for, I was so much more forgiving of all the, like, shitty stuff about it because I'm sort of like, well, it's not shitty to him. He like he's laughing at all the like the fart jokes and stuff, So I'm like, what? How can I complain? So it was interesting to hear. I thought you guys were gonna hate it.
No, so honestly,
he reminds me of me when I was a kid.
Yeah,
brings joy to my heart. My heart grew 2 sizes.
No, but honestly, Ben Schwartz as Sonic, I think did a really good job. I think his voice was just about as perfect.
Oh yeah. You couldn't imagine a different kind of voice.
Yeah, and then Jim Carrey. I mean, oh my dude, there's some lines from Jim Carrey in this film that are just so fucking good. Like they're so funny.
Yeah. Well, before we get into the Jim Carrey and all that shenanigans, Trey, what did you think overall?
I really enjoyed it. It got dark at the beginning, like the when they show him. It got so dark. I'm like, wow, this is a kids movie.
Yeah.
Whoa! Bye, mommy.
I expected Arrow to hit that bitch.
I was like, this is gonna be a different movie, and then it evened out a little bit later. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and Jim Carrey brought out the Grinch, brought out the Liar. All his prototypical prime time Jim Carrey, and it was a little over the top. I paused it a couple times. I paused it right when he did the little joke when he first meets the the hero, and this little cow joke. And I was like, okay, that's a little stupid, childish. But that was like the only time I thought it was a little childish and over top, and he did very well. It was perfect, a perfect role for him.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was just gonna be he was gonna phone it in, and I mean maybe that was if it is Jim Carrey phoning it in, it just shows how talented he is because it was funny either way. There was a lot.
The opposite of Bruce Willis there.
He kind of did steal the show a little, like as far as any scene he was in, it was just hard not to. Because he can just do the littlest stuff comedically. Like his physical comedy is so good that even just his eyes. I mean, there were some scenes where I was laughing just because of the stuff he was doing with his eyeballs. It was really bringing me back to some like Ace Ventura kind of stuff. Because to be honest, when's the last time we saw him in a really goofy role? Mr. Popper's Penguins 2010? I mean, I don't fucking know.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's been so long. I didn't see that one.
Did he just quit acting or something? I haven't seen him in anything in forever. What was the last thing he was in?
Mr. IMBD himself, Sterling. Pull up the computer in your head.
Pull out your dick and pull up the computer. Let's go.
All right. Anyway, yeah, it's been a while. Kind of like hopefully with Coming to America 2 with Eddie Murphy. Some of these perfect like classic comedic actors bringing back their youth, bringing back their primetime comedic abilities. I think even though this wasn't a smash hit, even like it wasn't like he got a whole bunch of acknowledgement for it, but he did great. It was good. I don't know what else to say about him, but yeah, going back to what you said, there's like little things he did. Like there was a couple scenes with that little assistant of his that he had, that little mannerisms he had that kind of made you chuckle. But yeah.
You know my favorite joke he did the whole time, because I just, some of the best things in the movie that made me laugh was when I really didn't expect something, because the movie generally was so formulaic. It felt like it should have came out in 2006 to me. Like, I felt like without seeing the movie, I could have guessed kind of what the general story would be, because it was so... I mean, there's a lot of the jokes were just like jokes you've heard in a movie 1,000 times. But some of the lines, some of the jokes I just didn't expect. They like hit me in a funny way. And the best line to me that Jim Carrey had was when his assistant brings him lattes.
I was just thinking that. I love that.
And he's like, of course I want a latte. Or he's like, what does he say? He's like,
I love the way you make them.
Exactly.
Yeah, he snatches it. He's so aggressive.
I love the way you make them. It was so funny. I just didn't expect that.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. He's like, I wanted to get a latte for you. Did you want one? Of course I wanted. I love the way you might make them, whatever. Like, his mannerism, just like you said. I was thinking, that was one of the scenes I was thinking of when I said that. Like, it was perfect. It was perfect.
Now, what did you guys think?
For a kids movie.
Maybe we should get into the. I mean, we're on Jim Carrey, but like,
I know.
will say this: as far
Joker, Jim Carrey, nothing about the movie.
Exactly. Well, I'll say this though: there is one weird scene I was just thinking of with Jim Carrey. The weird scene in the movie was when Jim Carrey just puts like Beats by Dre on basically and starts listening to some like beat and starts dancing, and I'm like, what the fuck? This doesn't. Like, the character's zany, but I just don't understand why he's dancing and listening to music.
That's right,
it's a little weird.
That's right when the latte scene happens, right after that.
Yeah, he interrupts him with the lattes, I think.
Yeah. But that was
Carrey. I felt like he just told the director, like, I want to do this. I feel like doing this. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
It looked like he was having fun for the first time in his career in a long time. Like, he just was being himself.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
It was goofy.
As far as the movie, I just didn't get it because I was
out of place.
Yeah, well, one of the things I didn't get, and by the way, half of what I want to talk about this movie is shit that you're going to be like, shut the fuck up, because it's me thinking too technically about how stuff would work in the world. Jim Carrey hates humans, right? And he's like, it's evolution. Robots are the future. But then he's listening to like this music, and I'm like, wouldn't you like hate music or something? Like, robots aren't gonna fucking make music for you, you dumb bitch.
The type of music he was listening to was kind of techno, right? So
Oh, it
It
was
technically,
a
was.
little actually. Yeah, I was trying to figure out
yeah.
because the first little bass thing that it played, um, I was trying to figure out if that was the dun 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 dun. Dun. That was the bass line. I was like, was that Sonic? I don't think it's Sonic, but I think it's Mega Man or some other thing. It sounded familiar, but I
Sega
could be
bass.
wrong about that.
Yeah.
It sounded like some Sega game. I guess Mega Man's Capcom, but anyway.
Can we talk about? So, for some reason, I wrote down the second thing I wrote down was the turtle.
Forgot
I
about
thought
the
that was
turtle.
a great start to the movie.
That was
He
funny,
saves
yeah.
he saves a turtle, and well, the reason I wrote it down, I wasn't gonna write it down, and we were sitting here watching it, and he's like going around messing with it, and right when it flies out of his hands, Amanda like jumped up out of her seat. Oh, and I did too. I was like, holy shit! He goes back and grabs it. Like, it's okay, buddy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'll say this: I did get anxious. The car wheel, like the car almost hitting it. I actually did get a little anxious before Sonic said because I kind of
Oh.
forgot about Sonic at that point. I thought we were gonna watch some roadkill in a PG movie, and but no, that was a good start. You have Queen playing, and then like the little turtle, like with its face like smiling in the breeze. That was funny. Like it made me laugh.
Did you notice when he drops it in the forest, it's like shaking, like
Yeah, it's like
uncontrollably.
yeah. It's
And,
probably shaking turtle
uh,
syndrome or something.
you guys can interrupt, but I'll go. Yeah, well, these are all the beginning.
Yeah, keep going.
Here's
Let's
one
work our
thing.
way through the movie.
Here's a technical thing. When he is when oh shoot. Oh wait, when he's thinking about the going to the mushroom world before the event happens, he just fucking throws a coin, looks at it. I don't want to go there, and it cuts to a new scene. I'm like, he just wasted a coin. Like, don't you just have a limited amount of coins? That kind of
Okay,
threw me
wait.
off.
I was trying to figure that out. Can he just pick the coin back up though, or does it just disappear?
When the beginning, when he's a kid, it disappears when he tries to jump back through it. It got like the gold dust. I assumed that means it disappears. Maybe
See,
I'm wrong, but that's why.
Unclear about a couple things like that. I think you're right, but most of the time he uses them is during the egg, like the Dr. Robotnik chase scene, and like there, it's like of course he's not going to get him because he's leaving them all around the world. But
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, can he just use these once? How many does he have? And then you're right. You're so right though. Yeah. If he throws it, is he just wasting one just so he can go, look at those gay mushrooms or whatever?
He did. That was a technical thing. And okay, Sterling,
there's probably hundreds of them. So
yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, he did chase. I mean, there are a lot because when he fell, at that one point they went everywhere and he picked them all up. There was a ton of them, but
I'll get this one out of the way real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, Sterling, you got something?
Yeah. It's kind of jumping to another point, but you mentioned the opening of the movie. Man, not only was it like kind of dark, but it was so quick. There was like no connection at all, like any kind of connection to establish. Like, first of all, I'm not even that familiar with the lore of Sonic. Like, I just played the games as a kid. But did he ever have an owl as a guardian?
I don't remember that. I don't remember any of the games ever talking about him as a little kid at all. And I don't remember a fucking owl like mother figure.
I just added it probably. The bad guys looked like hedgehogs with masks on. They look like his kind to me. Yeah. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah,
that was weird to me.
That makes somewhat the type of characters from Sonic. You might see something like that in some of the newer games and stuff. But it was hard. Yeah, it's hard because I don't want to say some shit where like some fans know and they're like, "Oh, you idiot, that's this character." But I was watching that, like it was so fast. I was like, I don't know any like this weird. I know they had to find some way to connect it to our world, but I felt like there was a lot of stuff in Green Hills that there was a lot of stuff where it's like you probably could have cut some of that stuff and gave us a little more time for the origin so that we felt a little more. because I don't. It's like Sterling said, it was so quick that I didn't feel a connection to his world, so I didn't actually care whether he got back there or not.
Yeah, and can we talk about how quick that was? Sorry, go ahead, Sterling. I'll remember.
No, just obviously, like the post credit scene,
Really, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait.
No,
whatever.
I'm not going to say the details. I'm just saying that it seems like with the sequel, anyway, the sequel is going to open more, probably show more of the world. Is what I'm trying to say.
Are they officially doing a sequel?
This movie did really well in the box office.
Thank God.
So,
well, I was worried,
but there ain't going to be a box office to go to next.
Well, I honestly, by the end of the movie did get me. I was like, I like this. And then whenever they do have the end credit with Tails,
yep.
Spoiler alert for a 20-year-old kid movie. But Tails comes through, and then you're like, ooh, cool, like. It got me excited.
That goes to what you were saying, though, Matt. They didn't set up a backstory. It was real fast. And why is that Fox Tails? Is that what you're calling the character? I played the game. I didn't play it a lot, but it came in saying, "Oh, I found him. He's here." Like she knew who he is. Like they know each other.
Well,
so they didn't set up that kind of. They didn't set that up either because it's confusing.
So now we're assuming they were like childhood friends or something.
Yeah.
It was a very short intro. I do want to talk about, what did you guys think of Tom? Did you think he was a good counterpart to Sonic?
The hero?
The main guy, Thomas. He
was great.
By the way,
he was perfect.
Polish guy. That's what I noticed right off the bat when I saw his name tag. Polish. So, one for the Polacks. And although they said Wachowski, and I'm pretty sure it's Wachowski, but anywho, that's just a grammatical error. So I thought he was fine. He was exactly the character, but he wasn't that interesting in and of himself. I feel like you could have replaced him with
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler might have been funnier, but
Rob Schneider.
Yes. If Schneider was the counterpart, I would give this a 10 out of 10.
No, he was good. His acting was good. Like a lot of the other acting was not that good, but his acting was perfect. I thought.
I mean, he was
a professional.
He was exactly what he should be for that role, I guess. But it wasn't anything special. It was just like, okay, he's there. He's the counterpart.
It's a kids
like
movie.
The straight man.
It doesn't have to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
will add this though. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm done. Go.
Well, I was gonna say, I guess so. I'm guessing they didn't say an exact age, but Sonic, he's supposed to be maybe like early teenage years or what, right? Because he was like a little kid in the opening, and then it said 10 years later.
I missed that. See, I didn't even see that.
It said 10 years later, which, by the way, as far as we know, the movie where it really basically starts in Greenville 10 years later, and he's never talked to another person.
Yeah, weird.
He just watches these people for 10 years.
Except for the crazy Al, who's the only one that knows about him.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy Al or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
You should call him Observant Al. But anyway, but think about this. I'm like, I actually think that Sonic would be a completely whacked out psycho killer or something, because how do you go 10 years without any human contact or companionship? I mean, I guess he's a fucking hedgehog, so what am I talking about? But it was just like, I did think about that detail. I'm like, man, he's literally spent 10 years just never talking to another person other than maybe Weird Al Yankovic or whatever.
Whatever his name is. That is weird. Wow. I will add though. So we talked about the beginning and how dark it was. So the arrow hits the owl like it's a kill shot, right? This is just the semantics. It goes down like a fucking stuffed pig on Thanksgiving. It pops up. It pops up like nothing's happened. Like, okay, Sonic, you're gonna go through this portal. Like nothing happens. I was like, what's going on right now?
There's no, I mean, there's no connect that. I mean, I know we're stuck on this opening, but like, they're just like, here's some rules to the universe, but we're not attaching them to anything. It's just like, you have these rings, they make portals, and you know, I want to go to Pornhub land, throw it. It's like wherever you want to go, and that's sort of
kids are watching.
Kid show. It's a kid show. You son of a bitch.
Sorry.
They can't know anything about porn.
Yeah.
Or
what do
the
you think
hub.
Sonic was doing in that fucking tree trunk all those years? You think those were all just comic books?
Yeah, he brought his stash from his world.
That would be bad. I hope that hedgehogs do not have to masturbate. He would just like kill himself.
His penis would just fly off.
We found another quill. Why is it sticky?
Yeah.
Don't lick it. Oh, too late.
Right.
Oh my gosh. All right. So the event happens. This is a really quick one, which I thought was funny. So he's pitching to himself, right? Obviously, he's a lefty on the pitcher's mound, and he's a righty in the batter's box. I thought that was funny. I thought it was goofy.
I didn't notice that.
A goofy error on the director writer's part. Whatever. I thought it was weird. Anyway, but when the event happens and he's like freaking out because all the FBI is there, Jim Carrey's about to cuddle him at night like a little teddy bear, and he's in this little cave trying to figure out what to take, and he's about to use a coin, and it's plot armor. I get it. He said, "Oh, they're here." He puts it back in his little satchel. I'm like, why the hell did he not use the portal? Because I assumed he was going to use it. There was no reason at all for him to. Yeah. It was. I thought that was kind of plot armor, I guess, but I thought it was kind of goofy.
Yeah, there was a lot of times where I kind of was just like, I get like with the portal. I felt like there was better ways they could have done things. Like they go on a road trip to San Francisco. It's like you'll waste.
They could use a portal.
You'll waste a portal. You'll waste a portal to go to look at the Mushroom Kingdom or whatever, but you won't. You can't use one to just walk through and be in San Francisco.
He wanted to have a real friend, okay? He wanted to cross off his bucket list, okay?
That was before, though. That he didn't have that bucket list at the beginning of the trip.
Also, let me ask
but he had the desire. He had the desire.
Also, why don't you mark this off?
You're reading way too much into it.
Why don't you mark this off your suck it list, okay? I think that... answer me this because I might have missed it, so it's more of a genuine question, but like, at the end... Thomas it's like Sonic does his last hit and Thomas throws the ring and he thinks really hard and opens it up and it's the mushroom world. How did he know what the mushroom world is? Did I miss that? Why?
I think he did talk to him. I think if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I
think they talked about it. Yeah,
I was trying to make sure because that's what Chrissy said, but I was like, I don't know. I guess I missed it at some point on the ride. I was like,
"Hey, comment in the comment section if we're wrong. Give us a like or a dislike, whatever you want, but tell us if we're right or wrong. Thank you and subscribe."
Exactly. It also brings into question what is it? Do you just think of a place because that means like. If I just said,
that's what they insinuate.
If I said, "Hey Sonic, there's a place called Albuquerque," but he's never seen it or knows anything about it, I'm just like, "Hey, Albuquerque's a place that exists," and then he goes, "Albuquerque," and throws it, and it just opens up to New Mexico. I don't understand. Like, wouldn't you have to know about it or see an image of it? Because Sonic had the. Oh, did he show him the map? That's the question. Or am I wasting my time on this whole thing?
I think this is one of the ones you're like overthinking. I think. Right?
Well, I think
You
he
said you
did
were.
show it. Yeah. That was one that was the one thing at the end I didn't get. Although I did really love that finale, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah. No, it's a good question. Like you said, they have all these rules they don't tell the audience about or whatever, or the rules of or of the ring or whatever. But anyway, going back to his bucket list, I thought the bar scene was pretty funny. Like
Yeah.
because
That was
they show a
cool.
lot of it in the commercials. But when he goes like goes full Quicksilver in X Men Days
Yeah,
of Future's
exactly. They
Past,
did the Quicksilver thing twice.
yeah, yeah. So he does all that stuff, right? If I missed it, shame on me. But I thought watching it was funny, and when he like stops and watches everything happen, what they did show him do was turn that guy into a mummy with toilet paper, and he comes walking in at the very end and falls over.
They
Do
did.
you guys remember that?
They
They
did
did
show
show in
that.
the
They
Yeah.
slow
did
motion.
show him. He made 2 people into mummies with toilet paper. It was really quick though.
In slow motion?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Dang, I missed it then. Because I thought it was funny that they didn't show it. So
Like to
shame
get
on
some
me
other
because I thought it was,
stuff in there
I
that
thought
was unable
yeah,
to show to a PG
yes, it was. Yeah, exactly.
audience.
Because I thought he was like something they didn't show, and he's like came in. Oh,
You could be
and fell
right because
over.
maybe I'm remembering the ending, but I thought part of the Quicksilver scene was him putting those people up.
Well, he makes a comment about you, like, oh, I didn't leave enough toilet paper for the next guy,
Oh yeah,
or something.
yeah. Now I'll say this: the one lowbrow moment because it wasn't just that it was lowbrow; it was so unnecessary. Was mid conversation in the hotel room for no reason. Sonic just farts really loud. And there was no leading up to it. There was no. It was so unnecessary. He just ripped a fat fart, and then of course they do the typical. You got to change your underwear, except it's like you better check your fur on that one, buddy.
Did he really say that? I
That's
missed
what the
it.
guy says. He's like, you better check
Yeah.
your fur on that one.
Oh, and
Smells
then
like
he goes and takes a shower. That's what he goes and takes a shower or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because he comes back with a towel on his head,
They did a thing
like
a lot where
like he's from the Middle East.
They did a thing a lot where Sonic would do like 3 things at once, like, and it looked like 3 Sonics, but it was supposed to be like he was moving so fast.
Yeah,
Which,
he does like ketchup and mustard.
yeah, so a lot of times it didn't quite make sense, but it looked cool. The one scene I thought that because most of the time it was like, okay, besides the actual Quicksilver scenes and stuff, which were actually really cool, like even though we've seen it before, it looked cool. There was one scene when he's running around the baseball mound really fast where they had this shot from like of him running around really fast where you were kind of starting to see like the still image of him running. Like, I don't know how they did that effect, but that looked really cool. It kind of almost looked like he was running in place because he was running by so fast, and it was like this little like choppy run. That was pretty cool looking. I have a technical thing. Well, go ahead, Sterling.
Oh, well, you mean technical as a podcast or the movie?
Sorry, I meant in the movie. Another one of those
Okay.
technical fouls.
The floor's yours.
No,
not you, Sterling. Matt.
Am I allowed to talk?
No, you go, Sterling.
Okay. I think with all the product placement, there at least should have been a Sonic drive-in product placement in this film.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. I wrote down the first one, the Zillow, and I literally put a little spot on my notebook, ads, because I wanted to see how many I could find, but I kind of got lost in the movie and forgot to pay attention.
I mean, Olive Garden, of course, which was kind of
Olive Garden.
They made a joke at the end about it.
Yeah, unlimited pasta.
I didn't think about how egregious that was until now.
Thank you for serving your government by shutting up. We're going to give you a $50 certificate to Olive Garden.
That was goofy. That was really goofy.
Speaking of the U.S. government, Mr. Robotnik, they're like, let's call in this crazy asshole. It's like, I've never heard of that guy. Yeah, that's because he's the best or whatever. They bring Mr. Robotnik in. He's just clearly got his own agenda. He doesn't give a shit at all about the government or the military or America. He's just fucking making robots, and he's trying to basically evolve humankind. I never got why I'm assuming by the very end when they're like, here's a Olive Garden thing, they were like, oh yeah, we fucked up with that Mr. Robotnik guy. But nowhere in the movie was there ever a clash between Mr. Robotnik and the government. Wouldn't they be saying like, hey, you're flying through portals and like blowing up cities? Like maybe we shouldn't do this.
Well, I see what you're saying, but not to sugarcoat this movie or anything, I think he never had the opportunity to go this crazy with his gadgets. Because he was all. I mean, they always said, when the generals were talking near the beginning, they just claimed that he was crazy, that he was kind of nuts. They never said like, oh, we had to clean up his messes in Iraq or Afghanistan, or like, he never caused like a war or anything. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
Maybe I'm reading. It's a bit of a stretch. I know that, but
no, I see what you're saying.
Well, I'm totally with you because.
Go ahead, Trey.
That the actor that's not like famous, but is known was the general that he gets in his face when we first meet Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
I expected to see him a lot more because I know that actor, and
that guy is so typecast. Ever since Band of Brothers, he's just a military officer.
But I thought they would see him a little more often than just one scene. I was kind of disappointed. I didn't think of it until this moment. I'm disappointed with that.
Yeah.
That would have been the confrontation you were talking about. They could have used the little scuffle they had at the beginning. The general and that guy. Bye, Sterling.
Yeah, whatever. We'll let him join back. We'll just keep
our first little technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Hey,
now I'm loading.
What was
it? Just kicked me out.
All right, there we go.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can see you. 33. Okay.
Was it just me that it kicked out?
Yeah. Well, it's okay. We kind of stopped right before it happened, so I'm just gonna edit it there. We'll come back in now, and I just put a little time stamp so that I knew where to edit.
Okay.
So there I was.
So
no, but yeah, that was weird that there wasn't any like ramifications, throughout like during their like battles,
I guess it all happened in a couple days,
Yeah.
Oh, what was a weird sort of small thing that was happening throughout the movie was this weird thing about how the sister hates him.
Oh yeah.
And I was
that was funny.
At first he's like, they make these, he's making these comments like about how the sister hates him. And then the sister at one point says she spells out divorce.
Yeah.
And I was
like,
yep,
that was funny.
I was like, what the hell? That was way too far. That was kind of crazy. And then they fucking tie her up.
And the kids run in circles around her.
Yeah. I didn't think it was funny until the Fitbit thing, because the way she delivered it was pretty funny.
Yeah, she was a good delivery there. Can we borrow her car? This was stupid. But can we borrow her car? And like, I don't think she'll mind. And it's, I'm right, it's my car, or my house.
And then Sonic drives it for no reason.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Just because of a joke.
Just for a
what
joke,
was the joke?
But it wasn't even a good joke. I didn't get the joke.
No.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Because when we see the vehicle, we're like, what the hell? What happened?
Yeah,
they didn't show what happened in the vehicle.
It's like, oh, I'm learning. Why? You have
it was a dumb joke. Why did we let him... And it was a dumb joke, too, getting out of the car. The chick like, why did we let him drive again? We're like, It's like so stupid. No shit, numb nuts.
Yeah.
So, a bit of a sidetrack. I've always known Dr. Robotnik as Dr. Eggman. or is that just a nickname the fans gave him?
Eggman,
Or might,
I believe Eggman was what was like the nickname. I actually think it might have been one of those things where like the American version of the game, they called it something different. But I want to say Eggman was like a nickname of what they called him because of the way the bombs looked or something in the game. So,
yeah.
but his actual name is Dr. Robotnik. And then, but it was kind of cool the way I was going to say one of the things I think they did really well in the movie is, except for maybe the fact that it's the place where he lives, Montana, is Green Hills, Montana. That's the name of the first level in Sonic is Green Hills. And so that, maybe that was a little on the nose or whatever, but I also am like, they kind of had to do it. But other than that, I felt like the subtle references to Sonic were really well done. It was never in your face, hey, look, here's this joke from the video game. Like when he calls him Eggman, it kind of made sense because of the egg things.
I missed that.
When he lost the coins, when he fell off the building and all the coins fell out, that was like a really cool little nod to the games, like of the coins falling when he got hurt. They did that pretty well.
The beginning of the movie was cool. They put all the games.
Oh, I had that written down as a note too because I was like that looked really cool. And the ending, the little ending sequence where they basically re-showed the whole movie in the 2D, that was really cool too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then obviously
the effects were really good too. Like just overall, especially the last confrontation.
Generally they were really good.
The color was really good.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten into all the confrontation that happened before with the fans in the studio before the movie came out about the design.
I looked at it again. I looked at a picture of the original Sonic preparing for this because I forgot it'd been a year, so I was almost not even thinking about that when I watched it, which is probably a good sign. But his body kind of looked weird, but I didn't think the face, like I know his eyes were smaller or whatever. I actually, looking at it, I'm like, I feel like if I watched the movie and it was the original CGI, I don't think I would have that big of a deal with it. But I think it's maybe I'm not a hardcore Sonic fan, so maybe that's why. But
I think it definitely looks a lot better for sure. And it definitely helped as far as making it look more original.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the eyes were freaky, to say the least. Because it was such a departure from the original.
I don't know why they felt...
why did they feel like they could do what they originally wanted to do? Why didn't they just do what they actually did?
It is weird. I wonder, this is what I don't like about these high budget movies, these you have all these executives making decisions about stuff, and it's like, here's what you do. Maybe before you make the movie, like it's so weird because it makes you go like, is there any fans working on this? Because like any person would see it and go, why the hell? Like why this? But there's some executive producer who's like, they'll like it. They like things to be more realistic, Well,
it's the old saying, too many cooks in the kitchen and not enough chiefs in the field. I just don't get it. Why they have so many fucking head honchos in the room.
Yeah, they say like a horse by committee or a giraffe is a horse by committee or whatever. It's like, I don't know if that's the case, but I will say this. I think, especially with like superheroes and stuff, there's always been this thing in Hollywood where they're always trying to like, let's make it more modern. Like, how would we make it like and there's some examples where it worked in a way. Like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, instead of him building the gadget, it actually comes out of his wrist. And those movies are pretty accepted.
That's how it should be. Let's not get into that.
So, but here's my point is that like I think they were like, what would be like a cool way of like, it's live action, so how do we make it more real, And I think like that's a trend that I don't really like. And it took them forever, like in movies and stuff, to realize like, hey, you can just put Superman in practically tights. Just update some of the details a little bit, but we're okay with it because that's Superman. They don't need to do anything crazy. And with Sonic, I think they were like, how do we make it like a realistic Sonic? And it's like, just do Sonic. Who's asking for that?
What's realistic about it in general?
That's a good point, yeah. But I think that's maybe.
But way too over. They overthink. Just the last 5 years, let alone last 10 years of with Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was like one of the first ones that was more public about with big budget movies of executives putting their hands in the cookie jar and you know
and jizzing all over them.
just I was thinking of something way less gross, but yeah, essentially messing up the whole freaking thing. And there's so many examples of it the last 10, 15 years, and here's another one. But they fixed it, and it cost them a buttload of money, but they deserved. I hope it came out of their checks, which it probably didn't. But they lesson learned. Too many decision makers.
I think it's a good trend too. The idea of like them going, you know what, you didn't like it, fuck it, let's redo it. We want to please the fans. I mean, you can.
Yes.
And then there was a Nintendo game. There's a what was that fucking game? Which one is Samus from? I sound like a fucking
Metroid.
Idiot, but Metroid.
Metroid Prime.
Yeah. They had a new Metroid coming out. They basically finished the game almost. And then they were like, you know what? We don't think we're happy with it. We don't think fans will like it. And then they just scrapped the whole thing.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like there was a new Metroid that was supposed to come out like a couple years ago, and the guy, the main developer or whatever, came out. I was like, look, we don't think you guys are gonna like it. We screwed the pooch on this one. We're just gonna redo it. And it's like that's kind of cool, like when companies do that, because I think it gains them brownie points. It's like when Disney got James Gunn back.
Yeah. Screw you, Alan Horn. Put it up your own horn, little bitch.
Who's that?
Yeah, fuck that guy. Only Sterling and I know. No, Alan Horn he's the head of all movies Disney makes. He was right below Bob Iger. And if you don't know who Bob Iger is, do your research.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, you're right. James Gunn came back. It was perfect. We're not talking about Suicide Squad 3. We're not talking about Guardians of the Galaxy 5. That's 10 years away. We're talking about Sonic and the sequel that's going to come out in 4 years with the egghead himself, Jim Carrey. And I love that little scene in Mushroomland when he's talking to himself and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, he's got the
volleyball.
And he's got the mustache grew. That was an interesting idea.
I think that, like, going back to that, I think he liked Castaway, the movie, because he made a rock his friend, and he's like, I like that guy, but he's by himself. He's a loner, like me, Well,
I like the idea, by the way, of him throwing the head to the other mushrooms, like he's lugging that thing around this mushroom world.
He makes that joke at the end.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hoping. What? Go ahead.
What was the other joke he said that he said twice? Whatever.
I'm hoping. So his character was interesting because you obviously had this thing of like they kind of had a couple little things like saying like he made a joke about being an orphan. He talked about being bullied.
I love that one.
Yeah. He says all this stuff like he had this terrible childhood, but he's like this genius. And then he basically talks about how he hates humans. But him as a character never really developed or came. I mean, there wasn't really time because it's all on Sonic. He just showed up during the action sequences. But in a sequel, I think they should open up with a gritty. Okay, gritty maybe not, but they should open up with Dr. Eggman as a kid. I think we should sympathize with Eggman a little bit in the next movie. I think they should open it up, kind of origin style, where it's like him being bullied or something, and we see where he's like this innocent orphan that ends up turning into this, like, you know what, fucking humans are garbage. Because it would be cool to see Robotnik by the 6th movie have a real redemption arc, where he throws the president of the United States down the Death Star or something. That could be cool. Okay, jokes aside on the end, but like I really do think it could be cool if we saw a little bit of an origin of Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah. I probably won't, but I think it'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
So, you want to wrap? I'll just say mine really quick on my overall thoughts. I think this movie would have been one of the best like family kid movie kind of things ever made if it came out in 2005. I think a lot of the jokes and the formula of it are a little dated, but it kind of has this resilience to it where like I ended up loving it anyway. So it's like you got to give it props for that. And, there's a good point that, Christy always makes a good point, so I need to bring her on the podcast, I guess. But she said, she's like, hey, maybe these are jokes that you remember from when you were a kid, so they sound cliche. But to a kid now, they haven't heard all these jokes. They haven't heard the, hey, there might be shit on your ass after that fart kind of joke, So, so I get it. It's like, that is true. The new crowd hasn't heard the jokes. So maybe the jokes are old to us. And the formula's old to us.
It.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I think that the movie...
You watched it with a kid.
Exactly. I watched it firsthand. So I'll say that I think the movie, it feels like it's from 2006, but in a good way. I feel like with all the bullshit, all the craziness going on, I was like, oh, you know what? It was nice to just watch like a fun classic, basically buddy movie. And I enjoyed it. So I got to say.
Trey, you want to go?
I mean, if you, I guess we'll keep negative last. No, I think I totally agree. I really enjoyed it. I expected to enjoy it because I think I remember talking to Sterling about how he enjoyed it in theater, like more than he thought he was going to enjoy it. And I got actually I enjoyed it more than I thought I was gonna. Jim Carrey was outstanding, even though he wasn't in a lot, but he stood out in his scenes, and as the teaser for him on Mushroom Planet was great. Little tease for a sequel. I think they set himself up perfectly for that, whether it's going to be in the theaters or not. And I enjoyed it. And if my family wanted to watch it or whatever, I would watch it again. I quite enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think for me, it's not a movie that I usually like, but I think overall, just as a family film, it is pretty solid. And I think the thing that kind of puts it above a little bit for me is for the most part, the visuals are pretty good. Jim Carrey's performance is a standout. Ben Schwartz as Sonic is really good. And yeah, I just think overall, it probably my low expectations helped a lot before watching this movie. And so anything above low expectations kind of makes that enjoyment that much more. And so, yeah, I think it's just a good, solid foundation for some pretty fun sequels in the future. So, yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry to add on to that. Like I just thought they did pretty well because I didn't play the game ritually back in the day, but I played it like at the dentist or wherever. They did a really good job kind of bringing you into the game, like make you feel like you were a kid again if you played the game. And I'm excited for the future. Sorry to take the last thing of it, but
no, I think I agree with you on that. Yeah, and just another thing too, a lot of the jokes, some of the jokes didn't land at all for me, but the jokes that did land and the funny parts that landed, really landed. Especially,
yeah.
I mean, my favorite line from Jim Carrey was near the end when you think it's implied that Sonic might be dead or whatever, and he's like, I don't want to be.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to be non-delicate here or something like that. But we need to freeze the
put
body
us on
to
ice.
preserve
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Put him on ice. Yeah.
Put him on ice
before it gets.
Yeah.
That's
You know what?
fantastic.
Oh, I forgot. I wrote this as a note. And do you guys remember this line? Because it shocked me when he said it. But there's a line that made me spit out my ginger ale that said he goes. Wait, where did I have it here? He basically says something like, oh, damn it. Where did I put it? I thought I had it on here. The thing about the egg sack, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
I think. Find it.
Oh,
you can
I'm
edit
looking
this.
at my taxi notes. That's why I couldn't find it. was like, none of this makes any sense. I was just looking for egg sack.
This movie was more fucked up than I thought.
I know. I was like,
Talks about shooting pussies.
you ever see what happens if you put a gold ring in a girl's puss? No, he goes, look what came out of my egg sack. And then he like brought a bunch of the robots out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I remember that.
I was like, what the hell?
He was talking about some insect or something to that general dude.
Yeah. And then he said, look what came out of my egg sack. And his robots came out.
I didn't. That's funny you thought of it that way. It makes me appreciate that better now, the way you thought of it. Yeah. Look what came out of my egg sacks. Did they imply? Let's keep this thing going, guys. Did they imply? Do they imply that Mr. Robotnik is like an alien? Because like when he's chasing him in San Francisco, he like says something in like a robot like language. Like I know there's no robot language, but he's like,
I think it was Japanese.
It was Japanese.
French.
Okay. It was French.
Wait, didn't he speak French?
It was one phrase, like panned to him, like in the speed racer chasing him, or like it was like that was close.
When they went through France, that's why I thought, or Japan. It was one of those places.
No,
so you might have. Been
it was not. It was. I would have to find it, but
he was.
I remember the
Dr. Stone. He was like pinning him on the wall.
No, you're thinking of the part where he said "indeed" or whatever, and it was in some weird language.
Yes, I think you're right.
But
yes,
was it?
Okay.
Is it just a foreign lange, or is it an alien language? Because we're gonna.
That's what I'm saying.
Pretty silly. It's fucking Japanese or something.
Because it sounded like a computerized voice to me.
Okay.
Is Mr. Robotnik a robot in the game, or is he human? I never understood that.
I don't know if they ever went into it. I thought he was just a human.
Okay, my bad. All right, cut this out. My bad. Sorry.
I think it's a good bonus. Fun
times. I like your pick.
Alien or French?
What's the difference?
Oh.